What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dash. Come back from No Takes. Well, it's the time, guys. It's reaction time. This is Cobra Kai. This is going to be for episode 5, titled Extreme Measures. Before we jump into it, just a quick recap of the last episode, titled Downward Spiral. That one was a really good episode. A lot going on in that one. Definitely with LaRusso. And I know somebody had commented in my last reaction where I hate that LaRusso is falling in all these particular traps when it comes to Terry Silver. Because as much as he knows that he always has an agenda, he's not realizing he needs to be a couple steps ahead of him. So Terry's pretty much showing him up. You see how he shows up at some sort of kind of like banquet, whatever, and all that in regards for his wife, Amanda, and she wants to get on some sort of board. Come to find out the house they're at is not the house of the woman they're there to see and meet to get to know. It is Silver. So granted, of course, Silver decides to play mind games with him, making LaRusso think that he might do something, to ruin it for his wife. Come to find out, in some ways, he kind of ruined it for her a little bit. At first, it does, everything's going well. Terry does talk to his wife, but then you see how LaRusso's kind of always eyeing him. He goes up there, he donates some bonsais, and eventually, Terry tries to one up, pays for a nice, handsome amount, makes little comments about using it as mulch, whatever, just being rude. But then the seed that was planted was enough where he makes him and baits him, thinking he told the woman that his wife is this and that and other. And he knocks him over, and that's all it took. When his wife saw the moment, they got into it. When they got back, other things were revealed, how they had gotten a fight at the furniture store, and that was all it took. She's like, you know what? Like you said, let me and Chosen handle it. I'm going to let you handle it. Me and the kids are going. You can stay here, figure out pretty much some soul searching. Now, when it comes to all the kids, they're at a little water park. It is the summer. And you're seeing where some of them still are not, vibing, whatever, and all that. It's just what it is. Now, with LaRusso's son, was in Anthony, him running into Kenny's kid and seeing, because now the Kenny knows how, to fight with her and all that. It's like, oh no, it's still payback. It's almost like it will now be just you bullying him, not getting back him a couple times, just you just constantly bullying him. And that's where I feel like Kenny has lost it. That's why I will agree with Robby. Like, I got out of that. You saw what happened with Crease, and you see it, definitely Terry's worse. But of course, you see his girl, Tori's like, I don't want you telling me what to do, whatever. No, I'm going to, do what I want, I'm going to make this decision. She did make her decision when she knew that Buddy Boy cheated. She had to come to terms with it, and she chose to just deal with it and move on. Now, I'm going to tell you like that. That'll probably come back and bite her later, knowing, and pretty much knowing that fight was tainted. And as much as she did do everything correct, don't get me wrong, it is what it is. Now, I will say the rest of them, you see Miguel not feeling, Robby kind of jumping in sometimes with some sort of, squabble, whatever, and all that. The lifeguard probably is like, break it up, whatever, and all, before I have to make you all leave. I can see that definitely, like, Johnny stated that it was, very quiet on the ride back when he went to get him from Mexico and all that. And it would be, Miguel wasn't expecting Robby to be there, and it's like, yeah, Robby really didn't think he was going on this type of trip, so of course some tension. But you can see it was tension there, and it's just like at times Miguel trying to confront him with what? He's like, he's not with Cobra Kai. What makes you think he's taking up for them? He's trying to stop and talk them down. You come in at the last minute making assumptions. You don't know what you're talking about. And I said, just because you helped my Johnny, whatever. He's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I didn't come for you. He pretty much came to help his dad, help to find you. Because you went off and did what you wanted to do, didn't tell your mother or whatever. So like, you're just doing all these type of things, whatever. Now he's still going through his little issues because him, and Samantha are not together. Samantha's trying to just stay low. You see, she didn't get nothing involved with it. And then when things got broken up, when they told him to leave the daggone water park after that little slide thing stunt happened and somebody messed with her and all that, you hear people talking cheater. Tori's face lit up. It is what it is. Now with Johnny and Carmen now expecting, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with that. Because see, these two boys right here, because they're not acting like young men, they act like little brats to me, hotheads a little bit. Once they find out both their parents are having another child, you're slightly bonded. You bonded. I'm saying, ain't no slight, they're bonded. It's no way out of it. So it's going to be real interesting to see their faces. I swear to God, if they show both their faces side by side, I'm going to use that as a thumbnail. So with that said, you guys, let's go and jump into this. I'll save the rest of my thoughts at them, you guys.
So let's give him the welcome he deserves. I want my loyal soldier living in style. It's the least I could do in light of your sacrifice. And I tend to do more than the least. Now,
Oh,
it's yours. Check the trunk.
Yeah, I lied to get you here. After what I saw at the water park, I knew you wouldn't come willingly. I know you're both in bitchy moods because you just broke up with your girlfriends. One bite and you'll forget why you were ever mad at each other in the first place.
Yeah, I'm never gonna forget that. Neither am I.
Where did this come from? With Mir. No envelope. This is Cobra Kai Sensei. Was Cobra Kai Sensei.
Get in, give me some sugar. Oh, wow. Okay, where is your old man? I got 10 pounds of mac and cheese for him.
Dad didn't come with us.
You literally just said he wasn't here.
Yeah, I lied again. Not my fault you fell for it twice.
You could lock us in here forever, and we're never gonna be friends. No, why are you suddenly pushing this so hard?
Because me and your mom just said we're all sort of on our way to becoming a family.
A family? But me and him, are you joking?
That's Johnny's old car. Kreese put this guy in a coma and now he's driving around on a Cobra Kai billboard on wheels? I think you lied about Kreese. And Silver paid you to do it so he could have Cobra Kai to himself.
Think you deserve it.
You're
really?
gonna give me a goddamn straight answer!
Oh,
Well, who gives a shit about your PlayStation?
Daniel-san! Enough. You are not yourself.
This guy's never gonna help us. But I know someone who can.
Christ's sakes. Amanda Steiner.
Hey, Lizzie-Ann.
Remember she was the one that beat up that car with the baseball bat? You know, we're gonna catch up. It was a good talk. Yeah. Uh-huh.
like peace
Have
out.
fun. Just spill the beans. What's going on with you and Daniel?
I guess it all started when he got back into karate.
You look like shit.
Look, I need your help. I think Silver paid off Stingray to lie about Kreese's attack. He's driving around your old Cobra Kai mobile.
Man, I'm dealing with some family stuff. Right? I washed my hands of the Cobra Kai thing when we lost the tournament. I don't know who Pandora is or what's in her box. But I got Robbie out of there and Kreese is in jail. That's 2 wins as far as I'm concerned. That's to leave well enough alone. What are you doing? You show up out of the blue, raving like a lunatic, you reek of booze. Now you want to fight me? I don't want to get pulled back into this rivalry with Silver.
I pushed her past her limit. She's at her mother's in Ohio. She took the kids with her.
Is this you? You're a bully? How long has this been going on? Terry Silver is hosting a charity function. Sorry.
Terry Silver is back?
You know Terry
Tell
Silver?
And I put you in touch with Daniel. He was way past all of that. Silver did a real number on Daniel back then.
Yeah, I've heard the headlines.
First he pretended to be his friend, then his mentor, while his goons wrecked his bonsai shop. He assaulted me. They terrorized Daniel at every opportunity for a while.
I didn't know it got so intense.
Yeah. But he got past it back then, so he can get past it now, right?
I'm sure you and Amanda have your hiccups, but I'm also sure you always get over them. No reason to think you're not going to get through this one, as long as you keep your head out of your ass.
Tried to apologize at the tournament, but I just pissed him off more. And if Robbie didn't show up,
Robbie?
he came in as I was getting my ass kicked and stopped it from getting kicked worse.
Oh, yeah? Or what? Keep it up and you'll find out. Stay in your lane, Steiner. This is a bar, not a yoga class.
Oh no, she did.
You asked for it, bitch.
Thank you.
Defending honor of Miyagi-Do. Never a waste of time. Always helping friend.
Fight it out. No points, no mats. You just keep fighting until you get it all out of your systems.
Ooh! Oh! Oh, wow. Oh! Gee. Oh. Dang. Don't go over this rail again. He got a lot of yeah, that's what that is.
Why'd you hold back? I didn't get into credit for hurt people. I did it to be badass and take it back in a second if I could. You know, I was the cause of the worst moment in my life. And if it's any consolation, it was the worst moment in my life too.
Is it over? You guys good? God, because if you still hated each other when the baby gets here...
Oh!
The baby.
Having a baby. Both play together to make sure you act surprised.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Daniel, on the other hand, has every reason to hate Terry Silver after what he put him through. I still have nightmares myself sometimes.
It was actually Lewis's idea.
I didn't know you and Daniel were working together again.
We weren't. But I think we might need to.
You thought you could get him to turn on me? Actions have consequences, Mr. Lewis.
Ooh! Really? Oh my God, LaRusso!
Don't look at this as an act of mercy. On the contrary, because the real pain is about to begin.
I'm delivering anonymous notes that can put people in danger.
Oh, wow.
What's out there who wants to be in this fight?
Ah.
There is an ending. Silver's going down. Only he doesn't know it yet.
All right, you guys, this episode was so good. We're at the halfway point, and I'm just loving how we're definitely getting a little bit more ingrained to the story of course, the Terry Silver effect. We see that Raymond, aka Stingray, is back. Now, I already noted that I'm really hoping as time goes on, if he was reintroduced and we get to see him, that eventually the main lie that put Terry where he's at now and put Kreese behind bars will eventually be exposed. Now, I will say, of course, you can see how he feels definitely scared and intimidated about him. You see as well when he's introduced to the rest of the Cobra Kai and him putting him on a pedestal in front of them, clapping him, thanking him for being back because of what Kreese had done or whatever. Then, of course, setting him up in an apartment and then giving him Johnny's old, car, all laced up, fitted out with, Cobra Kai. I'm like, really? I think it was I think they said impounded. And I'm like, and I remember because he sure loved driving it. I'm like, really? Pretty much like I said, bought and sold. Like, but then in some ways I can't say it like that because in this instance he wanted to be a part of Cobra still. Kreese, of course, didn't have no problem, but then here he is being beaten up and all that, and you definitely know if Terry did all that, he could do even worse and even more to him. So it's almost like he has no choice. But in the instance, it's like you get enough people around you, whatever. Nothing Terry's gonna do because Terry will be locked up, definitely for beating you up, and and then you blame someone else. But I digress. Now, needless to say, you can see the face of Tori, like, she knows there's a lot going on or something just not right and all that. And I'm going to get into what happens with her. Now, we'll say with Daniel, knowing his wife, is away visiting her mom, we get to see an old character that, of course, was in Karate Kid 3. Jessica, of course, played by Blake Lively. I'm a fan of her. And I really enjoyed her in the third installment of the, Karate Kid franchise. That was a good film because that's the one we definitely got introduced to Terry Silver. I like how when she does, get to come over and take, her out, the kids doing their own little thing and all that, kind of a little bit of soul searching there, but then her kind of wanting to understand, like, okay, LaRusso didn't come on, okay, there's a lot more to this, you kind of need to, fill me in. And then she finally throws out that name Terry. You see her like, oh, he was a bad guy, he's not a good guy. The way they showed the scenes, how he swarmed in, tried to act like he's a friend, a mentor, and all that. Got some guys, to beat up his place and all that, doing all these little things. Miyagi's, home and all that. Breakness and all that. AKA from Sean Cannon's character, Mark Barnes. So she is the person that can pretty much get his wife to understand there's a lot to Terry. It's not him. But I will say that she's right. In some ways, he never really got over that. That man left a lasting impression of the way he was so calculating about what he has done. So, yeah, you're really not, especially when somebody really touches on you, and definitely in areas of things that of your love and concern for, which was Mr. Miyagi, and stuff that he felt so near and dear. This person could come in and do this and bring these other two people, hiding, Kreese at the time because he didn't know he was friends with him, and then of course be introduced to Mike Barnes and all he was doing, hurting him, a major bully, and then of course when they're competing, just as ferocious as Johnny Lawrence was back in the day, just a mess, whatever. And it's just like he eventually got through it, and like she said, and eventually he did, and in some ways he did. He moved on. He met her after she said she introduced him, whatever, had a family, got the business. So yes, it wasn't like Terry was all consuming him, but knowing this man's back around, yeah, that's going to be an issue. So being that him and Chosen are there, you kind of feel, because he feels like he failed Daniel, he did not. You're doing everything you need to do. He just wants his family back. He doesn't want Terry to be the demise of his, his family. And I understand that. When they go get some mail, you see this little thing where it shows like a little clipping where, of course, Raymond had testified, and it shows him their liar, this is this, and telling his address. And I'm like, okay, who would leave that type of note? And he goes and visits him. He's like, oh, you set up with and all that. You have all this. Because it's like, what is Raymond really doing? How do you make your money? So it's like, come on now. Because we saw all the other scenes in some of these other seasons. It's like, buddy, you're not well off like that. So you already know in some ways he's hooking him up. But it's like, of course, in no ways they can prove it. Now, again, it is what it is. So I'm hoping, Terry's probably watching Raymond to see if somebody might show up with her and all. It's a possibility, or Raymond might have went to him. And I'm thinking most likely that's probably what it was. He did come back to apologize. You see what happened. You see Terry, every time, always 2-3 steps ahead, telling him, like, I give up, you can have the value. He's like, he wants more. He wants to definitely expand. He wants to do this. He wants to torment. This is this. But what's funny to me with Terry is this. It's like, I really want them to get more at the shell of him somewhat, but we probably won't get a lot of that. Maybe once Kreese is kind of, in front of him again and all that, he'll probably, swell up or whatever into a little ball. But you did harm to him. Now, granted, probably when they lost the tournament and all that, and the third installment of Karate Kid, maybe certain things went down for, but that man wasn't doing bad after he left. Kreese probably, on his side definitely did and all that. And same thing with Mike Barnes saying what he went through when Danny came back in contact with him. That man's got money, whatever. He's doing this and that and the other. So I'm just trying to think of, what did LaRusso really do to you? You did all the harm to him. So you're mad at him because of what you caused. You're the biggest bully ever. I mean, and you try to be more sophisticated with the way you go about your bullying. I'm like, give me a break. And then him, the fight scene, I will say, it was really good. They got some licks in, but Terry definitely ended it, whatever. Had him down, almost broke his arm, got that face and all that, and then put his foot on his neck. I'm just like, he's going to get his due. It's going to happen. I'm not worried about that. Everything does come to it. And it's going to be sad to see, Thomas Ingram leave this show eventually, but I'm enjoying why he's here. But he is a thorn that needs to be plucked for real. So with that being said, seeing how, of course, Tori is talking to someone, I'm wondering, you've seen the scenes like you said, but I will say this, knowing that she played a part in that, I'm like, okay, when she was looking at Raymond, I wasn't really thinking, she's just probably looking like, okay, what did he do with him, whatever, because she's already dealing with her situation, feeling conflicted, and then this right here is like, trying to expose this, a lie, and then you're trying not to, speak about anything, because you're scared of the person who's, in charge was him. And she's like, what can you do? She's like, don't worry, Terry don't know, what's coming to him. He has no idea. Because he does not see it. He thinks Kreese is, wait, nobody's visiting, this, whatever. And I'm like, Tori clearly is. She definitely, I will say, I like in that instance where when he was speaking to her towards the end of the last and final episode in the last season and all that, you could see that bond and all that respect over there, especially when he knows what she was going through with her family, her mom, So I kind of like seeing that, even though I don't particularly care for what Kreese is truly about because of all the stuff he's caused. He plays a part too. You brought him back, so this is some of your doing, So it's time for you to clean up the mess you have made, bringing this man back into the fold. Now, I'm just curious how this is going to be. I saw the trailer. We're going to get some new senseis coming into the mix, whatever. But I like how they showed his wife is home. She definitely got called probably from Chosen to come back home. Johnny showed up, even though Danny and Johnny got into it because he's like, you need to come help me. Let me get somebody to help me, whatever and all that. And he's like, you just show up here. You're drunk. You stitch, whatever and all that. Come on now. Like, I have other things going on in life. And I was feeling that. Like, Johnny is like, he's growing up. And I just love it. He's like, no, I have important things. I can't deal with this. And he's like, I gave all that up. And he stayed the course. He has a family that's extending with Carmen. So I like how he just had a little chat when he was like, you having a hiccup? You men are going to be just fine. And it's true. It's, from the relationship since the beginning of the seasons, it's never been anything that's brought them to a point where it's caused an argument where it's escalated to the point where she has to leave town. So I know they're going to get past this. And now that she's seen the damage that Terry can do, now she's going to be with her husband for sure. So there's going to be no question there. You see Johnny showed up. Chosen's still here. So yeah, it's about to be on. They're going to try to figure out how they're going to deal with this. I really hope Tori gets into the fold a little bit. She can play that card. Just got to watch her back. And just make sure she is seeing Kreese. I don't know if, Terry has a way of seeing if somebody's going to visit him. Just be careful, girl, because that's just not what we need. Her to get hurt. It'd just be bad. But I just want to end this on the note of Johnny rising to the occasion and then dealing with those two boys who are slowly becoming men, Robby and Miguel. I was just like, oh my God. And I finally understand both point of views, and I'm glad it was cleared up. You could just see the point of just this tipping point. And that was Johnny was like, what, the best way for you all to deal with this, you all just need to fight it out. Get it out of your system so we can move along, because it was just becoming a point like, oh my God, the hothead is like, well, what is this? You just keep, pushing buttons, this and that, and all words with it and all. And they finally got the fight out. And that moment towards the end of the fight where you could see the flashbacks of Miguel remembering that moment, which kind of started all of this, anger and animosity towards him, between him and Robby, whatever. And when he fell over that thing, and it's almost like he was about to go there, he caught himself. And I was happy he did. And then the words from both of them, and more so Robby realizing what he had done, and at that moment all that, and how he was like, what stopped you in this moment? And he's just like, this is not what I was ever about when I went to learn karate. And I love that he said that, and I love how Robby fessed up on his part to at least say how he felt about what happened in that moment, and then how he felt bad for him, and he also felt bad about his part. It needed to come out, and I'm glad, because I'm like, how long are they going to do this whole episode? Because I said it in the last reaction. I said at the beginning of this reaction that they need to work past, because they don't know somebody who's coming to the family fold, and you see the look on his face. Miguel was like, what? He's happy, and of course Robby is happy. So yeah, y'all instant. It's like y'all gonna have a sibling. I really hope. I don't know, she'll be pregnant all the way through the end of this, and maybe we'll get to see the baby in the next one. I really hope it's a little girl, just to kind of mesh Johnny a little bit, and even the two brothers, two sons on each side, having maybe a sister. That'll just be so cute. That's just how I personally feel. That would be nice. So, but yes, this was a great episode. So I'm really feeling what's going on. I really hated LaRusso getting all whooped up at the end like that by Terry, but we just got to add a little extra momentum on that and to keep building and building it, because the showdown towards the end, whatever the finale is going to be, is going to probably be so good. So with that said, I have rambled on enough. Comment below, you guys. Let me know what you think. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next reaction. You guys take care.